students and faculty members of T.R.C.L. Civil Procedure Code. In our legal system, the most important procedural aspects are divided into two areas: criminal and civil. We shall be holding a criminal procedure later on. Today, when we are here to talk about the civil procedure, remember all the substantive laws which you have been studying. Now, how to apply that substantive law in the courts of law would be governed by the procedural aspect. And all the civil enactments and statutes are governed by Civil Procedure Code of 1908, commonly known as C.P.C. Now, interestingly, if you have any idea of the C.P.C, it is divided into two major parts. One classification is called sections. There are 158 sections into C.P.C. And then in the other classification becomes orders and rules. As per the original C.P.C, there are 51 orders. But as of today, there are amendments into it, and as good as 7 more orders have been added. So as on today, the C.P.C have 158 sections and as good as 58 orders, and then respective rules within those orders. Now these sections part, if you see, is also divided into 11 parts. I'll give you a description. We are arranging for a board over here. So I'll draw a chart so that it will be easier for you to understand that the sections are also divided into 11 parts. I hope you have some C.P.C barracks. Open it and you'll find it, that these sections are divided into 11 parts besides the preliminary part. Now, since 1908, this procedural code is applicable in the courts of law. Now, what do this C.P.C talks about? Because the C.P.C, if you read as per chapters, sections and orders, you would reach nowhere. Because it's not a novel which you begin from the first chapter and end the story at the last chapter. There is a method to read C.P.C. Now, if you see the first part, it talks about suits in general. Do you have that book? Now, suits in general, sections run from section 1 to 35A. Is it there? What is suits in general? Suits in general is that all kinds of rights which a person feels he possesses and he wants to invoke in the court of law, he has to go to the court of law and file a plaint, which is called a suit. So generally, whatever classification of rights you have, you have to file a suit, and if you file a suit in the court of law, generally these provisions of section 1 to 35A would be applicable. We'll reach to the corresponding orders also. We'll see along with these sections, corresponding orders are also there. So what comes to our mind, a question is, why the frame or the system of the C.P.C. is constituted in such a fashion that half the portion is sections and the rest of the half is in the orders? This question comes in our mind. Why this is the framework of the C.P.C.? Because other statutes which you have seen are normally under sections. It is not divided into sections and orders and all that. The reason being that these sections are the primary rules, that these are the rules in which a suits in general would be filed, but further the manner and method in which these things will be done is classified in the orders. And these orders are open to amendment by the state governments also, although C.P.C. is a central act applicable across India universally. But these orders, the liberty have been given to each state to make amendments according to their own convenience and according to their own needs and necessities. And that is why you will find that so many states have done so many amendments. Even in sections they can do. There is no bar that they can't make amendments in the sections. Like Maharashtra government has added section 9A after section 9. That section 9A is not available out of Maharashtra, which challenges the jurisdiction as a preliminary issue. So state governments have also been given the liberty to make amendments. Now please understand, when we see these sections, you have to make a corresponding study of the orders along with these sections, so that will make sense. And as a lawyer also, tomorrow you will have to study C.P.C. and apply C.P.C. in the courts of law in conjunctions with sections as well as orders. So let's begin. You as a person who want to assert your right in the court of law by filing a suit is called plaintiff. The person who files the suit is called plaintiff. The person who's filing the plaint in the court is plaintiff. The one who defends the suit is called defendant. The one who's defending your claim, your right, your assertion is called defendant. Right? So now, if you have C.P.C., turn to Order 1. Order 1 talks about parties to the suit. Who will be the parties? Now, if you see rules under Order 1, they say that a person who's asserting the right is a plaintiff, and there can be number of plaintiffs. It's not necessary that there has to be only one plaintiff. Suppose there are 4 brothers and their property is encroached. Because all 4 are owners, there will be 4 plaintiffs against the encroacher, isn't it? And suppose the owner is one, but encroachers are many. So you have to assert your right against number of persons, not against one. So there will be one plaintiff, but number of defendants. These combinations, permutations keep changing according to the circumstances of the case, isn't it? There can be multiple plaintiffs against multiple defendants. all that you will find, who will be the party to the suit and who will be included in the suit in order 1, you will get that details. While drafting a plaint, you have to see what? Parties to the suit. Who will be the party? Got it? Now once the parties to the suit is settled, order 2 comes into picture, frame of suit. See order 2. What would be your frame? How would you frame your suit? The board has come. I'll show you. This is how the C.P.C. is divided. Sections 1 to 158 and orders 1 to 51 with amendments plus 7. 7 more orders have been added. Right? Under this section there are 11 parts. These sections have been classified under 11 parts. And we are just talking about part 1, that is suits in general. Got it? Now suits in general, in conjunction with seeing the orders, order 1, parties to the suit, order 2, frame of the suit. If you have notebooks, make notes, otherwise you would not be able to connect. And then make notes in the C.P.C. also. Please remember, law books are to be read in a method. You don't read law books as a novel or a story which has to begin from beginning and end at the end. You have to pick and choose where to connect what. As a lawyer, you must know where to find the correct provision. So C.P.C. and C.R.P.C., which are very vital as a practicing lawyer of tomorrow for you, have to be read in a particular method. So when we are talking about part 1 under sections, part 1 begins from section 9 to 35A, because 1 to 8 is preliminary. All right? Section 9 onwards you will find 9 to 35A is part 1. Suits in general. 1 to 8 is preliminary. Now among 9 to 35A, some sections are very interesting. First is section 10. Now importantly, what is this section 10?